Well, I've had hearing loss for quite some time, probably 30 years. Had an operation many years ago, and I felt that was quite successful. Being a teacher and a principal, I felt I had to have very good hearing, because sometimes you don't know what children say to you, whether it be negative or positive. So eventually, towards the end of my career, unfortunately, I decided my hearing was very poor, and I thought I really should do something about it. But like a lot of people, I put it off. I felt. One day I had a little grandnephew there, and he came and asked me if I was a little bit deaf. And I said, I am, darling. And he said, if I speak like this, is that better? And I thought, oh dear. So with that, I thought about that for a couple of days. I got on the internet and I decided to have a look at hearing people. And I didn't know much about hearing aids. I suspect I'd only seen ones that looked a little bit ugly, so that probably put me off. I eventually found Mo Dadafaran, his website, and I got intriguingly interested. There were pages and pages of deafness, and being a teacher, I thought, oh dear, this is interesting. This is just what I need. I should know more about it. So I read it all through and thought about it, and I thought, I need to do something about it. So I phoned for an appointment, and I came out to see Mo, and he was the most amiable gentleman. We did a hearing test, and as I suspected, it was quite poor, worse in one ear than the other. So we talked about the types of hearing aids and things that I could have, and I'm not sure if I decided there and then on the spot or whether I went away and came back again, but I thought I need them. And friends were telling me so. So I came back, I had all the tests, Mo did absolutely everything to try to give me the hearing that other people have. And I was absolutely amazed when I got my first pair. I couldn't believe it. What I'm wearing is my second pair. I went home and Mo had told me to wear them for 2 or 3 days, and for 2 or 3 hours, a day. And I thought, oh no, if this is the world, I'm going to have to wear these, and I'm going to have to get used to it, whether I like it or not. So I wore them home in the traffic, and everything was super loud. But of course, I hadn't heard things properly for years. And I wore them all day, and I took them out of the night time, and I thought, my hearing is quite low. I had them in the next day, and I was absolutely puzzled at all the noises I could hear that I hadn't heard for years. I could hear the birds outside and the usual traffic noises. I live on a busy road, and I spent the day guessing the sounds. And anyway, I could hear this one sound, and I thought, is that the fridge? No, it's not the fridge. Is it the aircon? No, that's not on. And I puzzled about it for about 2 hours, and I realised it was my breathing, and I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that I hadn't heard my breathing. On the website, Mo had a section about how your brain switches off, and mine had switched off all the sounds that I hadn't reacted to. And so there were a lot of new sounds I had to learn. They were old ones, but they were new, and things that came back to me from our childhood, hearing the sea and a host of things. I wrote down about 20, 25 things, and I think I've lost the list now because they're all familiar to me now. One beautiful thing is I have several programs in here so that if when I'm driving the traffic is too loud, which it is, it's very loud, I can just touch and the background noise is reduced a tremendous amount. Now that's a bonus. If I'm in a busy restaurant, I can turn the noise down and I can still hear very well. I am just thrilled with my hearing aids. I spend a life trying to talk other people into even giving it a go and trying it. It's made such a difference to my whole life. I can go out, I feel comfortable, I hear what people say. If I don't, I ask them. And that's usual for a lot of people. A lot of people will say, even people with good hearing, "What did you say?" So that pleases me very much when other people don't hear things. They've just made such a difference. I'm quite used to them now. I expect to hear everything. Occasionally I can hear other conversations around me, which prove to be very interesting too. Look, they're just wonderful. I'm happy with the look of them. This is my second pair. The first were a slightly different model, but they're very effective. These are the latest model. I absolutely love them. I treat them with respect. I am very careful with them. And they are my life now. I couldn't do without them. Well, I've had hearing problems since I was about 30, and I'm well past that now. I would say as a teacher, as my career went on, I had more difficulty hearing the children. And in retrospect, looking back, that worries me. They probably said, very nice things to me and things that weren't so very nice. I had difficulty in a group with people, especially at principals' meetings. I would make sure I sat up the front, any meeting, so that I had a chance to hear. I would say I would have lip read a lot. Didn't know I could do it, but I think I did. It was a pest. It really was a pest. I knew it was, and it was a nuisance to other people. Occasionally families and friends would say, "You're very deaf." And I'd think, well, yes, I am, but so what will I do? And I just put off doing things. So really, even when you're travelling, you'd go on a tour and I would have to make sure I was up very close so I could hear what was being explained. Now, those things are very annoying and frustrating. So I feel there were lots of occasions where probably people didn't say things to me because they knew I wouldn't hear them. Hearing aids have made a huge difference to my whole life. I go out to dinner, I feel quite at ease with whoever is at the table. I go to a noisy restaurant and I can turn down the peripheral noise and hear the speaker better. I can hear things so clearly if I'm at a meeting or a movie. Movies are very loud anyway, but I was struggling to hear properly. Every social thing that I do, television, I can hear that much more clearly now. The whole of life, I hear all the sounds that there are to hear. I don't think I miss out on any. What I have to say to people that have hearing loss is that it really isn't a major obstacle to overcome. When I speak to people about it, and I do, I jot down things, and I've jotted a few on paper. Is that okay, Mo? I say to people, accept the fact that your hearing is low. It doesn't matter. Other people have got other problems. I might add too that I am a satisfied client. I am not a member of most staff. I can't help but admire their expertise, and I'm busting to tell other people about it. It costs money, but that's okay. We have to look after ourselves. We have to enjoy the world that we've got. And one of the biggest things is that you mustn't leave it till you're too old. Like, once you get very old, you can't be bothered getting hearing aids, and it's a pity because there's so much of this wonderful world to enjoy. So don't leave it till you're too old. And my last little thing is just get it while you're young enough to enjoy the wonderful world and everything that's in it. And I say go for it. At Ear and Hearing Australia, I think the service has been fantastic. From the minute I met Mo, I felt he was a very sincere man, and his expertise has come through to me the whole time I've been there. I think I'm pretty good at judging expertise. I had been in education for 40 years. The service I've received has been really first class. I couldn't say anything else. From Mo himself, of course, and from his staff. Any little problem I've had, I've been able to solve it on the phone, but mostly I've come out and Mo has attended me or one of his other staff. We've solved every problem that I've had. And there've been quite a few over the 5 years that, 5, 6, 7 years that I've had hearing aids. I couldn't recommend a better service, and I'm just lucky that I happened to find such a good service. Well, I suppose the cosmetic side of it, if you look at mine, I don't think you can see them at all. Most people can't. They just don't see this very fine piece here. They certainly don't see the back, and I have my hair up all the time. Most people are concerned about the cosmetic value of hearing aids. I have no problem with these in any way. I doubt that you could see mine unless you came up close. I'm very happy with the back of this. It fits in the back of my ear and it suits the hairdo I have. A lot of people have long hair, so you wouldn't see them at all. Mine is up all the time. I doubt you can see very much at all. So I have no problem with the look of these in any way whatsoever. In fact, people are normally quite amazed when I tell them I've got hearing aids. They usually say, "Oh, I didn't notice those." So there we are. I don't see it as an issue in any way. Sometimes I think people need to know that your hearing loss is much more visible than your hearing aids. That's a fact.